What's going on, guys? On my way to work right now. I'm in the mountains. It's a bit of a wet day. It's not raining right now, but it just recently rained, I guess, maybe last night. But just got up and just been looking, just watching some videos, and it just came to my. I mean, I've already felt like this before, but just the topic of military service and like a bit of a, it's not a taboo, but I feel like the reaction to someone's military service is taboo, because right now we have at least in most areas, most areas of the world, or most areas of the country, it is expected, and it is actually, you should be, and what's it called? You should be thanking people for their service, regardless of, if you agree with that, the reasonings that they went for, or the reasons for that war that they had to go into service for, and it's like I've been questioning that ever since, like even before, like I, quote unquote, got red pilled or black pilled, or any kind of like nonsense pill, but yeah, I questioned it, because it was true. Because I remember back in the day, my relationship with the service, I don't have anybody in the family that went into military service, and if anything, the ones that technically, yeah, I have family that went into military service, but over there in Mexico, it's like you're required like 1 or 2 years, by law, once you like turn like 18 or something like that. I don't know. It's some kind of like interesting thing that, yeah, you have to go like 1 or 2 years into their branch of their military, and I think that's still how it is. I'm not too sure. I'd have to ask, but like back in the day, I guess that's how it was. But either way, yeah, no, but I don't have anybody in the military, and I knew I wanted to go into the military. I knew I wanted to go into the Marines after, very cliche, but watching Full Metal Jacket, and just like many people, just making that movie your identity. And sure enough, I go to the recruiting station on November 11th, mind you, which was supposed to be every Marine's birthday. So yeah, I go there, and it's I try to take the assessment, and then I tell them everything that's going on. I didn't want to go in for anything special. I didn't want to go into specialty things. I was actually going off more of like, what the whole country, or what the whole idea of going into into the military is. To go in for God and country, that kind of crap, to go in to serve your nation, to become a better person, warrior ideals, yada yada yada, blah blah blah, bunch of hokey bullshit, to serve the state or whatever kind of crap. Because they had like a bunch of, I don't know if they still do this, maybe it was like a specific place, but they had like a bunch of little plaques, this tiny, with all a bunch of different words on them, and some of them would say honor, courage, duty, and then a lot of them would say college, learning a skill, transferability, or basically another one would be like basically like being able to transfer into civilian life, have a skill set, technical things, and educational prowess or whatever, some stuff like that, and he basically wanted me to list all of the qualities on there that I wanted, the reasoning why I wanted to go in. And so yeah, mine were more idealistic. I was idealistic at the time. I still am. And yeah, no, it's just after that he was really concerned because I chose all the idealistic ones instead of choosing like the, what the normies would have chosen, or the safe ones, or the ones that, that have a plan. Because I didn't have a plan. Honestly, I was going in there just to become a bullet sponge, or, whatever the hell it was, I was just, it wasn't a good time in my life, just like many people, just felt like that was the escape, and just wanted to get behind a gun. At that time, haven't bought a gun, so I was just like, man, I just want to shoot guns. And sure enough, I wasn't allowed into, which was actually a godsend. And then I found out, I was like, yeah, all I do want to do is just fire guns. I just want to use guns. I just want to, like, you know, later on, my buddy got me into building guns. But yeah, no, after that happened, I went and got myself a shotgun. And Mossberg 500 at Big 5. It had the 2-barrel deal. You know, they made it like a deal. You know, back in the day, I think I might have paid overpriced for it. It was like $600, you know, or I forgot how much. Everybody talks about how like their Mossberg was like $200, but I don't know. I think at the time it might have been $400. It might have been $600. Not too sure, but yeah, that was the only serialized weapon I have to this day. You know, I had to wait the waiting period and all that crap, you know. Makes no sense. But yeah, sure enough, I got it, yeah. And so I didn't use it for a while because I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know the rules. Nobody showed me. My dad was very a-gun. You know, he was apolitical in that sense. He really didn't care for guns. He didn't care that I had one, just as long as I was being safe. But he had gotten one a long time ago, and I guess I had found it, and I was trying to show my buddies, so then he got rid of it. And it's ever since then, he's just been kind of like, I don't need them. But then again, it's like my dad is like, you know, he says he's 5'9", but he's probably like 5'10", 5'11", or something like that. He's a taller dude. He's a, you know, well-built man. And so nobody fucks with him. Nobody messes with those kinds of dudes, you know. Dude's bulky, stocky, you know. And yeah, man, of course you're not gonna talk to a guy like that, you know, and you know, think you're gonna get away with everything, unless you're stupid. But no, so he's never really had a need for them. At least he thinks he hasn't. So, but I digress. I'm getting off track. But yeah, no, I just turned out that I just really wanted to be, you know, into the gun sphere. And for a lot of people in the gun sphere, that's the same thing. You know, a lot of us, you know, haven't really been in the service. Maybe might have been aspiring to at one point, but it's like, nah. But then, you know, that's where I have problems with this whole veteran nonsense, because mind you, in this country you can do whatever the hell you want, and that's fine, whatever, you know. It's like, it's not fine, it's just, I don't know. But this whole veteran nonsense, it's ridiculous. It's like, how are you going to put guilt on me for something that you did and expect me to thank you for it? Especially when we, as a society nowadays, we're all kind of waking up, a lot of veterans too, waking up to the idea that military service is kind of cucked. It's very cucked. You know, it's there is no real benefit to, you know, I mean, yeah, if you get lucky and you get some of the technical specialty, you know, jobs, I don't know what you guys would call them. I'm not even gonna pretend to know the ranks and everything. If you go in, sure, if you get that bag and that's you know, and that's for money or whatever, it's like, you know, yeah, I can justify, you know, being a Fed, because that's really all it is. Everybody that talks shit about Feds, you know, they only want to talk about the FBI, the CIA, and the ATF, but it's like, the biggest Feds out there are literally the pawns of the state, which are the military. And but no, I mean, if you're gonna go in for money, just do your fucking 4 years or whatever it is, and just get out of there, man. It's like, there's no point in, you know, giving more of your life towards the state. As I'd say, I'm under the assumption that it's just all cucked in general. Just don't fucking do it. Avoid it like the plague. But if you are gonna do it for whatever reason, it's just like, yeah, it's like, you know, talking to a girl that's trying to become a stripper. It's like, don't fucking do it. But if you are gonna do it, yeah, that's one of those things. So, but no, it's this whole idea that veterans should be respected, it's like they should be respected in the sense that they're just human beings. They should be respected as long as they're respectful to everybody else. This whole nonsense that it's like, thank you for your service. I remember I used to work at O'Reilly's, and that was one of the things they would tell us. Like, anytime you get a vet, thank you for your service. You tell them thank you for your service, and then you give them 4%. You give them 4% discount. So I was just like, it's stupid in itself too. It's like, even if you are like buying into the nonsense, it's like you're gonna respect these veterans too, blindly, and then for their service you only give them pennies. It's like, it's fucking retarded. But no, this blind adherence to, like, they're fighting for your freedom. It's, if you ever dissect that, just even like just a little bit, you'll realize what freedoms are in the Middle East, what freedoms are in every other nation that has a U.S. base, like it's like a military base. What freedoms are over there that's so important that they have to be protected over there, as opposed to in the country that they're supposed to be in. Have you ever noticed that? It's like, that's how they psyop you. That's how they literally gaslight you, because they get you on the, like, that's basically kind of to keep the choir boys in line. They're preaching to the choir kind of thing. That's how to keep the ones from straying. It's like they're fighting for your freedom, so the ones that already believe in this kind of nonsense already, they're not going to question it. But the ones that are awakened to the idea that these institutions aren't really in your best benefit, because that's another one of the things that they say, is that if it wasn't for the military, who would protect us from foreign invaders? And to that question, it's just like, what the hell do we have guns for? What the hell was the Second Amendment made for either way, other than foreign and domestic enemies? It's like, it's nonsense that we have all these doctrines, all these documents that are supposed to be like, supposed to put the burden of protection and self-defense in our hands, yet all we've done is like literally sell them to other institutions, the cops, the military, FBI, the CIA, and they don't do the job that they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, what are they doing nowadays? All they're doing is spying. It's like, fucking, who gives a shit? It's like the mass media can do a pretty good job of like finding out what people are doing on the other side of the country. At this point, it's just like, no, it's like all this is done as literally being a net negative for everyone in the country. No one benefits from being spied on. No one benefits from spying on other countries. It actually makes it a worse situation, because all you're doing is just you're poking bears. You're basically just poking bears everywhere you go by doing that. And this whole idea that, oh man, if we don't pick a side, or if we don't have a military, we're gonna be left open for invasion. It's like, well, you don't think that would have happened? It's not happening now, technically. Apparently, by these people's standard, Chinese spies are everywhere. Chinese spies are everywhere, and you can't get rid of them, and you can't do anything, especially since those Chinese people are literally the bedrock of your economy. So it's like, I think that's all a spy too. I mean a psyop too as well. Blaming the Chinese, it's like you're back to old school, Vietnam or pre-Vietnam era McCarthyism. It's just like, it's so cringe. It's like they're blaming the Chi-Coms. The Chi-Coms, they have to say it like that, the Chinese Communist Party, for everything that they're doing, when in reality it's like that's everything that the US is doing. And it's like, whose side are you on? It's like, at this point, I really don't care, dude. You want to fucking die for fucking the federal government, be my guest. But it's like, I'm not fucking, it's like, I'm glad that like Sam Hyde's been kind of on a roll, just shit talking on the vet bros, you know, him and Nick. It's like, it's good to see. It's refreshing to see, you know. It's like when I watch other channels, one of them is Undead Chronic, you know. It's like one of the things I can't agree is just like just the detestment for like this whole like army like worship, veteran status worship, you know, the dick riding and the dick sucking. It's just, it's like, bro, you made a choice, you went in there, you did it as a job, it's, get over it, you know. It's like you went over there to fight for a country that now is back in the hands of the people that you were fighting against. How fucking pathetic and sad is that, you know? It's like they'll reverse it on you. What have you ever done? So it's like, I know I'm not doing that. No, I'm not gonna fucking support that. And it's just, imagine thinking that you're hot shit when you have all of the money in the world at your disposal, because your fucking job is just basically like depends on the fucking taxpayer dollar, you know. And then you think you're hot shit because you're fucking taking that money, you're putting that gear on that money pays for, to fucking go and attack fucking goat herders and farmers. And you know, it's like, yeah, sure, they fucking believe this ideological nonsense, but that's none of our business. I don't care like who's out there. It's like one of the big eye openers was when I remember back in the day, when Boko Haram was an actual thing. When Boko Haram was a thing in Africa, they had killed 3,000 people, torching them alive with flamethrowers. I thought, wow, that is crazy. That is sad. That is sickening. We should do something. It's like, and you know, at the time when I was like still like kind of like, you know, pretty cucked in that mentality, you know, still under the siren call of liberalism and you know, and the, you know, the nanny state, and we should do something. But yeah, I was like, man, we should do something. That's terrible. But then I would realize, it's like, wait a minute, so we'll go to war for other people that get killed in other things, or we'll get killed for our own people, but we won't go to war for that. But we're still going to war for another country and a nation build, but we're not going for them. I just thought, I was like, wow, 3,000 like men, women, and children just torched alive. Can you believe that? That's like that's like some of the most evil on the planet. But you don't really get, you didn't hear too much of that. It wasn't the hot ISIS, you know, or the Taliban at the time, you know. Like, only certain militant, you know, religious extremists were trending, you know. And it was, you know, back in the day, it was the Taliban, Al Qaeda, so guys like that. You know, back in the day, it was the Mujahideen, you know, stuff like that. So I just thought it was kind of like, that's ridiculous. It's like, you know, you'll go to war. Now we know, now it was just all for oil and just Israel, you know. But back in the day, I was just like, if we are going to be, you know, if this is an ideological war, which you know, now we know it wasn't, but it was, if it was going to be ideological, and it's like, oh, we have to fight terrorism. Well, there's terrorism right there. Why didn't we do anything? And who knows, maybe we did do something, but just like maybe to stay with another third world country, small country. But yeah, no, I just thought it was ridiculous, pretty stupid. Now looking back, and I'm just like, man, I'm glad I dodged that bullet, because first of all, I probably would have been that bullet sponge that, you know, I kept joking about, just fucking, you know, getting limbs blown off for no fucking reason, and then coming back and everybody tell me, oh, thank you for your service. It's like, spit in the face that would be, man. It's like, thank me for my service. It's like, I'd rather have my arms back. It's stupid. But yeah, no, it's I can't imagine giving my life. It's just, it is sad. At the end of the day, these people, even though they willingly went in though to the military, people that have lost their lives, I will say at the end of the day, it's just, I feel like they were under a spell. They were under the spell of this misguided patriotism, this blind faith that they were believing in because of their, at the time, like right now, we can say like, the only ones that are just joining up most of the time, on average, it's going to be like right-wing individuals. So the people that have this like conservative mentality, those are the ones that were dying back in the day. Now you have more liberal-minded people joining the service. I mean, it's still not a good thing, but it's just probably jobs for them. But I don't care. But it's like, but yeah, I do feel to a certain extent, this was not in their hands at all. It was not in their control. To say that these people, it's like, why would you go in there other than the fact that you were being promised something? You were being promised money. You were being promised glory. You were being promised trigger time. You were being promised, you're gonna be the door kicker. You're gonna be, taking fucking names. You're gonna be fucking shooting people in the head. And sure, but it's like, a lot of them didn't make it back. A lot of them came back all fucked up, and some scars of war are not visible, that kind of crap. So it's like, one of the main things you'll see with someone that comes back from actual tours of duty is the fucking PTSD. They can't fucking handle civilian life, so they take shit out on their fucking on their better halves. They'll take shit out on their spouses. I've met a girl too. It's just like, damn, dude, she was all like destroyed over her like fucking man because the dude was just like so fucked up. Like a couple women I've talked to, it's just like, man, dude, it's just like, it's yeah. I know for a fact, like once my girl gets bigger, I'm not letting her fucking near any fucking Marine. It's like, nah, dude. It's like at that point, it's just like, I don't care how fucked up you are. It's like, I'm gonna put you in the fucking a fucking plot. Don't touch my daughter that way. And that's what I say. It's just like, these are just humans, people. These are just people that made choices, fucked up, stupid choices. And it's like, if you've actually rewatched a lot of these this war footage, like on documentaries that they did during the actual GWAT, the Global War on Terror, and you just look at it, with the hindsight, like you actually look back on it, and it's like, fucking hey, dude, you see some of these interactions these dudes have with the fucking locals. No wonder they fucking hated the US. No wonder they hated fucking in a lot of cases they hated the military. It's like, you got fucking arrogant fucking bubbas going in there, guns pointed in their faces, looking for one guy. And sure, sometimes they'll get them, but sometimes they won't. But it's just like, you don't speak the language, you don't respect the customs. All you have is guns in their faces. You're occupying their territory. No one's gonna like you at that point. You can do that in my fucking neighborhood, and after a while, the fucking the charm, because after a while, if like, let's say the military did occupy my own neighborhood, you would have people dick sucking and, oh my god, thank you for being out here, yeah, thank you. But after a while, that would just be like, the charm would wear off once they start telling you what to do. Once they start telling you can't come out at this hour, or they start interrogating you, guns drawn while you're in your car, on the phone for whatever reason, and they start thinking that you're some kind of insurgent. Like, let's say if that ever did happen, no, dude, at that point, people would definitely be like, nah, fuck these people. It's like, and next thing you know, someone gets shot. Because, like, you can see that with the police already. Police are definitely militarized in the sense that they have that us versus them mentality. They have modern weaponry. They don't see you as citizens. They see you as a possible threat. That's not it's not secret knowledge. Everybody knows that. That's what they're taught. That's how these people are taught and trained to go about interactions with the populace. So that's just cops. Now imagine the military, that at least cops, for the most part, they live in that area that they are policing, so-called policing. But imagine a military force of people that aren't from there. They don't, like you have a guy from Tennessee signs up into the military, he joins a squad, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, we have a domestic terror problem in California, you gotta go there. And it's like, this dude has no connection to the people. He hates Californians because of what he thinks that what his perception is of Californians. And he just comes arrogant, he thinks he's better because he's in the military, and they're telling him to patrol a fucking neighborhood that has like a gang problem already. It has a gang problem, and they've already been roughing up some people. It's like, what do you expect is gonna happen? Next thing you know, that dude shot someone because he pulled out, I don't know, this is an actual case, but he pulled out a spatula. Dude was insane. He pulled out a spatula, gets shot. It's like, of course no one's gonna like you after that. This whole psyop that we're, like, oh man, nation building. It's like, nah, dude, that ain't the same world anymore. So I believe, honestly, if you're falling for the psyops, it's like, that's on you, man. If you really do think that we need the military. No, I don't need an institution, a group of people causing shit, stirring the pot, and then when threats start happening, then telling us and psyoping us and gaslighting us into thinking like, well, if without us, these people would, do this, they would come to us. We bring the fight to them so it doesn't come back here. We go over there so they come here. But it's just like, no, maybe if you weren't fucking starting shit to begin with, you wouldn't have a need for a military. If you actually just fucking kept your fucking business, you kept your fucking business to yourself, like, it's none of your business, like, then you would have no need. There would be no need for this whole idea. It's like, yeah, maybe self-defense, protect your own country, but from that country, this whole idea that we have to go to every other country, and it's stupid too. It's stupid because, yeah, the U.S. picks and chooses who it wants to deal with, and it's usually under the influence of another nation. One with two triangles as their flag, two triangles, upright one and an upside down one. Basically meaning, as above, so below. That nation right there, under the influence of that country, which is just like, why for? It's just, it is ridiculous that we're and it's all really that, and that part, it is ideological. Like, it's this so-called Christian nation mentality. They think that because we're a Christian nation, most of the heads of state and all the politicians believe we have a duty to protect the land of where so-called, Jesus lived, and this is the land of the Jews, and if by protecting Jews we're protecting the land of Jesus, and that's what Jesus wants, and it's just like, nah, dude. It's like, whatever, dude, I don't even care. It's like, yeah, you're gonna protect the land out there when you can protect your own land. If someone else squanders their own land that you hold sacred, why don't you just move over there? Why don't you just move over there and join the IDF? This whole idea that we have a duty towards these people, it's nonsense. And nobody wants to come out of the spell. Nobody wants to come out of the coma. The more you tell people, the more unpatriotic and treacherous and traitorous, it's like, you're a traitor. It's like, for what? I'm gonna give my life to a country that takes my money to send to other nations, and for what? Just to start shit with other people that I have no problem with right now, just to stir the pot and give my life for a country that kills, I don't even know how many unborn people a day, unborn children a day. Give my nation, give my life to a country that still doesn't want me to protect myself, but still thinks that it should protect me, and that's why it justifies its existence. I'm not gonna give my life to a nation that supports all kinds of things that I'm not on board with. You know, it's like this capitalist nation, this fucking corrupt den of whores, this whore of Babylon that is the U.S. This like scum of this hive of scum and villainy. It's just like, no, dude. It's like, if anything, I live here and I have the right to fucking say what I want, you know. And if for whatever reason my right is being infringed upon, then that's what are we, you know, what am I supposed to do? This whole like love it or leave it thing, that's another one of those things too. This whole love it or leave it mentality only works one way. If you actually, like, you know, see the people and the views that they are espousing, any detractors from that have anything critical to say about the U.S. and the way it's going, it's always love it or leave it, just go somewhere else. It's like, but yeah, these are the same people too that will literally say, "Whoa, I got out of California, I couldn't stand it." It makes no sense. It's like you either love it or you leave it, you know. But then they go out and turn their tail and like little bitches and cry about it. Oh, I went somewhere where there's more freedom. Yeah, you went to a less populated, less urban area that, yeah, for whatever reason, they still have gun rights. And that's, you know, it's like, Jesus Christ, it's like, what are you going to do in Idaho? It's like, what are you going to do in Montana? What are you going to do in Oklahoma? I mean, fuck, bro, if you couldn't fucking make it in California, it's like, I don't know, that's on you, man. That just sounds like cowardly bullshit. If you're trying to leave California, that kind of thing, it's like, nobody fucking wanted you anyways, dude. But I'm getting too ahead of myself. But yeah, the whole love it or leave it thing is pretty obnoxious too. Because let's say, you know, it's like you do that for immigrants too. It's like a guy doesn't like his situation in a country that he's from. He loves the country, but he's gonna leave it because he doesn't like what's going on. And then next thing you know, it's like, no, don't you come here though. Same thing here, like love it or leave it. So it's like, what's the other option? Now it's like, if anything, people that have something to say about this country have more of a right to stay here. Because why not try to make it a better place? You know what I'm saying? Why not try to make it in your image? You know, just like Immortal Take Me. I keep fucking quoting him, man. It's just like, it's like, fuck a Masonic vision. America's vision is mine. And I really do identify with that, you know? It's like, why not? Why not, you know? But that's all I got to say for right now. You know,